You are listening to the Daily Report, episode number 224.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans. Reminder, the Daily Report is released at 1 p.m. every weekday, typically a little later on weekends.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we thank you for spending part of your day with us. Today is April 3rd, 2025. It's a Thursday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School, producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, Madison Grant got its softball game in before the storms. We have lots of news and notes, including all the postponements and a local surprise coaching resignation. And the Pacers were at home against Charlotte. Before we get to all that, please go to our YouTube page and subscribe. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. It is very easy to find. Also, earlier today, we released our Final Four preview with Grant Schaus. And we will have the women's Final Four preview for you with Michelle Garman coming up Friday morning. Four-time reigning sectional champion Madison Grant opened its 2025 softball season with an 11-1 win over Delta. The Argyle scored 5 times in the first inning and led throughout. Carly Holliday led Madison Grant on offense and defense by going 2 for 3 in the season's first home run for the Argyles. She also had 2 RBIs and 2 runs and threw 4 innings, struck out 7, and didn't allow an earned run. Demi Havens, Bailey Chappell, Patricia Van Mater, and Delaney Pavey all scored 2 runs apiece. Van Mater and freshman Grace Wood had 2 stolen bases apiece. Wood, a freshman, scored the first run of the season for Madison Grant. The Argyles play their first road game next Wednesday at rival Eastern. Also, New Pal beat Eastern Hancock 10-0. All of the rest of the games were rained out. Frankton's game against Delta, which was originally scheduled for Monday, then moved to Thursday, will now be played on Friday, May 16th at Frankton. And Yorktown announced via Twitter that their softball games against Rising Sun Friday and Saturday have been postponed due to weather damage and more impending bad weather heading our way. Also, Wednesday's track meet between Frankton and Pendleton Heights was rained out and rescheduled for Thursday. And Frankton at Burris Tennis was postponed to Thursday, May 5th at 5:45. Justin Ulam announced Wednesday on Twitter that he's resigned his position as Muncie Central basketball head coach. Ulam went 31-41 in 3 years as the Bearcats head coach. He led Monroe Central to an unbeaten regular season and a sectional championship in 2021-22. Indiana Preps named its all-championship team from Saturday's boys basketball state finals. Of course, the MVP was Trey Singleton of Jeffersonville. They didn't name one, I'm just telling you. Also on the first team was the Manchester pair of Ethan Hendricks and Gavin Betton, University's Blake Gray, and Orleans' Alex DeWitt. Noblesville's TJ Davidson is committed to continue his basketball career at Taylor. And former Indiana Miss Basketball Chloe Spreen from Bedford North Lawrence is transferred from Alabama to Indiana. Purdue's Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Wren were named All-Americans by CBS Sports. Smith from Westfield was named first team, and Kaufman-Wren from Silver Creek, Sellersburg, was named third team. Both are expected to be back for what's expected to be a very good Purdue team next year. Former IU player Mackenzie Mbako visited Kentucky Wednesday, and former McCutcheon star Dre Gibbs Lawhorn announced he is leaving Illinois. Some other notes, the IHSA announced that it's moving the volleyball state championships from Muncie back to Indianapolis. Northwestern football star Chase DeWitt has committed to play football at Anderson. DeWitt played tight end, defensive end, and was the long snapper for the 9-2 Tigers last season. And Roger Penske announced Wednesday that IndyCar is planning to introduce a new chassis in 2027. The last chassis change came in 2012. To the NBA, the Pacers won for the eighth time in their last 10 games, beating Charlotte 119 to 105 Wednesday at the Fieldhouse. Indiana led 68-66 midway through the third, then outscored the Hornets 19-7 over the rest of the period to pull away. It was another balanced attack from your Pacers. 8 different Indiana players scored at least 8 points, led by 22 from Tyrese Halliburton. He was 9 for 15 from the field and also had 10 assists. Aaron Nesmith scored 16. Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner had 15 apiece, and they combined for 15 rebounds. The Pacers got at least 8 points from 4 players on the bench as well. Thomas Bryant had 13. Man, I've loved that transaction earlier this year. Jarris Walker had 10, and man, did he look good. Excited to see how he continues to progress. Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell scored 8 points apiece. McConnell also had 7 assists in just 19 minutes. MCCONNELL McConnell. Siakam said beating the teams they should beat is the key to the rest of the regular season.
Like, this game matter to us, and to them it's just, they're just going out there having fun and just playing free. Like, you don't really have to think about anything. So like, it's hard. And I think, like, you go into this game thinking like, oh man, we're gonna beat them by 20 like real fast, and we might get to sit down and relax, but it don't always go like that. And I thought we dug into the game and got some stops when it mattered, and that's what you got to do against a team like that. Like, because if you just hang out, and find yourself in the end of the game like a close game, and some I've seen some stuff happen, where you lose the game. So, and I think we have like times where we didn't take care of those games. So at the end of the day, as long as we take care of those games and get a win, I'm happy.
The Pacers are now 45-31 with 8 games left in the regular season. They've already clinched a playoff spot and look solidly in the 4th spot in the East. They're 3 games behind the Knicks for 3rd and 3 games ahead of Detroit in 5th. Milwaukee is 6th, a half game behind the Pistons. The Pacers are at home for Utah on Friday. The Jazz have the NBA's worst record at 16-61. In college baseball, both of IUK's games at number 2 Tennessee Wesleyan, scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday, were canceled due to the weather. We look ahead to Thursday's schedule, not like much of it's going to be played because of the weather, but it's possible there will be some clear skies in the afternoon. Baseball and softball, all the games' first pitch is at 5:30. The only baseball game scheduled for this afternoon is Tipton at Western. That is scheduled as a doubleheader. In softball, Tipton is at Western as well. Kokomo's at Eastern. Northwestern travels to Lafayette Jeff. Marion hosts Jay County. And Pendleton Heights welcomes Westfield. On the track, Eastern is at Madison Grant. And in girls tennis, Alexandria starts its season at Yorktown. A good one in local college men's volleyball. 17-9 Ball State is at 12-10 Ohio State at 7 o'clock. Ball State is ranked 15th in the nation. Ohio State is ranked 18th. And the Mad Ants face the Osceola Magic at 8 o'clock in the NBA G League playoffs in Kissimmee, Florida. The single elimination playoff game can be seen on ESPN News. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy the podcast and would like to see it continue to grow and thrive, please share these segments with your friends and family. We thank you in advance. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.